every day when I make him a cup of tea. I say, mate, how can you drink Earl Grey with milk? It doesn't work like that. But anyways, that aside, you need, if you're a big fan of Earl Grey, no, forget about the game. If you're actually into Earl Grey, go onto Google and search for Russian Earl Grey. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I mean, forget that. Russian Earl Grey is beautiful. But anyways, forget Russians, who are very prominent in Counter-Strike. Forget Earl Grey. We're now playing sexy Counter-Strike on the Inferno, and Lumji gets one. Lumji with two. Andrew comes in, and Lumji single-handedly gets a 4K and tears him a new one. 1-0 to the Kings, and yep, the scoreboard's the wrong way around again.
Yeah, so Lumji in the 2 cash games didn't really have much going his way. He was a lone player on B-bomb site most of the time, but this time he's right in the action, 4 frags straight away, and Cheeky picking himself up a UMP with a lot of grenades in his pocket as well. And how are Kings going to go for this? Well, it looks like they're going to go for a very slow, methodical approach with the Tech 9s, and it was something we were critical of in the previous map. Maybe a little bit critical again here on Inferno, dependent on how this round plays out.
Roger that. Here we go. No casualties as of yet for Kings, for Lime Goblins, but it seems like they are going to go straight into this B-bomb site as soon as the smoke disappears, but Shiki awaiting them with that UMP. Pulse gets one. He is down for the count on ammo, but Shiki had more than enough time to reload, and he will also join Lumji with, join Lumji on the list of players getting 4-man so far this game. So a solid start for Kings, and Shiki has decided to drop the UMP in favour of an M4. So interesting decision. They didn't really have to, because Kings, they didn't plant either on the first or second round, so really a third round buy would have really been a rare occurrence. But it seems like it's a risk they don't want to take, and it's paid off for them.
Rattlesnake now finds a second and a third. 3 frags already on the board for him. He's not going to be on for the 5k, maybe 4. Pulse is just spraying all across the board. Lumji actually gets taken down. Rezu finds himself a FAMAS, but of course, everyone now knows exactly where Rezu is. And we see straight away all 4 members of Kings. We have one on the bomb, and the other 3 just looking at angles of where Rezu can be. Gonna need to push at the same time. There it is. Rezu gets taken down. JT, that first bullet, causing aim punch on the terrorist. And he had no chance of getting off a good shot. 3 rounds to the good now for Kings. And this is one of the deciding ones where either Kings keep their momentum going, or Lime Goblins have a chance to get back into this series.
So what do you reckon? You reckon they'll keep the momentum going, or do you think we're going to have another one-sided map?
I think one-sided map. I can't see it not being.
Here we go, nice and aggressive coming out from Pulse, and his left-hand man Shiki on Banana, not giving Lime Goblins any breathing space. An aggressive defense. Rattlesnake pushes lower ups. The confidence really is flowing through him here, Hoss. An easy frag for him, and the Lime Goblins just look bereft of confidence at the moment. No confidence whatsoever, playing extremely passive, and they're just being flashed and smoked out of everywhere. Now burnt out of everywhere, judging by that molly.
Yeah, so now what do you do as the T side? When Pulse is so far pushed up Banana, the CTs know exactly where you are. There was smoke one side, fire the other. Rattlesnake holding this angle perfectly. He's showing very little of himself, but he'll be sure to get a frag should someone peek him. And in fact, they're going to be slowly creeping their way round towards Arch. All for Chronic. Rattlesnake gets one. He knows there's another one there. Finds that one easily as well with the headshot. Rezu now walking round. He gets taken down. It's now on Chronic, who was in apartments and still is in apartments.
He certainly is. Here's the beast from the northeast, who's a beast no more. Pushing from behind him, but he knows that the CTs are coming towards him. He knows that they're not too far behind him, but Chronic, you know, a little bit of complacency coming out there from Kings, and Chronic managed to get 3 kills, which wasn't too shabby. But here we are, round number 5, and 3 of the Lime Goblins players yet to actually get on the scoreboard. So we know it's a CT-sided map, but they've got to step it up after this eco round.
They really do. One thing you can be quite critical about on the CT side about teams is the aggression they show towards B. Of course, there are many options. You can go for the deep smoke from spawn, the shallow smoke from spawn towards Banana, Or you can just go for no smoke and just go pop flashes, grenades out. There's a lot of versatility towards the B site, and it really shows you how teams like to play their CT side, about how much they switch it up, whether they're flexible or whether they go for a set play. Flip side, we're a team who are just so static on that B site. They sit back on the site, no flashes, no smokes, no nothing. They just wait for the T's to come. Whereas at least from KiNgZ we're seeing some smokes out, some flashes go, just in case, but they have no intel, which is the key here.
No, what they could do here is smoke off Arch and then just wrap around Quad and try to at least get a plant down and utilise the man advantage they have. But the problem is they haven't even bought a smoke, so Rattlesnake, you'd expect him to really tear him a new one with his AWP on Arch. He's going to fire one, he's going to miss it, and he is going to get ganged up on. Lungy with one, JT with two, looking for the third. He's close to getting it, but Lungy finishes him off, and even Victor, who tried to flank Rattlesnake up close and personal round Arch, still not managing to get the frag. And I honestly think if they had smoked off Arch from Boiler Room there, Hoss, and just put all their eggs in one basket and gone round Quad, that they should have been able to somewhat outnumber JT and Lungy and at least get the bomb down, which they didn't. And money's just incredibly tight for them. And we've sort of seen a repeat of what we saw on Cash, where KiNgZ at this point on, so early in the game, have plenty of money to play with.
Yeah, and this aggression coming out from the T side isn't going to give them anything. Pulse and Cheeky playing safe from the B-bomb site as they've done in previous rounds. That nade is going to bounce around perfectly, but not going to hit anything. Pulse now, he's going to peek around after getting pop flashed out from Cheeky. They trade 1 for 1. Rattlesnake now coming in, gets tagged up. The grenade from Rezu will finish him off. Lumji looking for the return frag. The nade's going to bounce round, doesn't find anything. So, still 3 for 3. These trades, of course, do favour the T side. Cheeky still the lone warrior towards this B-bomb site, and it'd certainly be the favourable one for the Lime Goblins to try and hit.
Most certainly is. Are they going to guess right, or are they going to have a change of decision and go back towards the A-bomb site? It seems like they are going to go towards B. Saw that nade fly off. That's going to allow Chronic to roughly realise where this last CT, the last line of defence on this B-bomb site is hiding. He goes by the name of Shiki. He will get one before going down himself. And finally, it's 2 versus 2. And Hoss, maybe, just maybe, in this 2 versus 1 situation, the Lime Goblins can finally capitalise.
They're certainly going to need to, but it's whether they can or not. JT, he was frag mad in the previous rounds. Andrew gets flashed away. He's going to actually go for the defuse here. And Andrew able to actually grab a round on the board now with the frag onto JT. They get their first round of this game, 5-1. But look at that economy for KiNgZ. Rattlesnake buys an AWP again. And the rest of the team can buy up fully. So KiNgZ, they may have lost 1 round, but they're certainly not out yet. They've got 4 rounds on the Lime Goblins. But if the Lime Goblins lose 1 now, they're going to lose a lot more in a row, because that round loss bonus would have just reset.
We certainly will. And, you know, Team Acer, they finally announced their new CSGO team.
Who is it?
It's the old property lineup with Threat and Crystal. Well, Crystal's
Very
not
nice.
the Penta one, but, you know, the Swedish one, KH,
Yeah.
Crystal. Yeah, so
And
it's great to
Reason.
see new teams. Yeah, Reason, apparently they've got an announcement coming tomorrow, and rumour has it could be this KiNgZ lineup. And I hope that they
Yes.
stick together, you know, because there's definitely a lot of potential amongst these 5.
Another rumour is that it was me, you, and 3 others, but whether that one comes
Yeah.
true or not.
No,
see.
I don't have enough time to play, mate. You know, I could tear all these lot a new one if I dedicated the time. Honestly, I'm much better of a player than these lot. But unfortunately, I just don't have the time and dedication.
Rattlesnake now gets his second of the round with this AWP. 3 members left now for the Lime Goblins. I mean, you actually used to be part of Reason as a shoutcasting force after you left a Nexus, didn't you?
Yeah, someone just really added me on Skype and said, "All right, mate, you wanna, cast for us?" And I said, "All right." I never really ended up doing much, but anyways, let's focus less on me and focus more on Pulse and Co. You know where he is. Pulse with 2, Pulse with 3, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. for another beast from the northeast, I believe it is. I believe Pulse is from Newcastle. So, yeah, Pulse, and it must be great listening to what their voice comms sounds like. You know, it probably sounds like two Cheryl Coles just constantly calling places like Banana out and stuff.
Yeah,
Must be
Twitter
pretty
confirms
nice.
he is from Newcastle.
I love the Geordie accent.
I hate it.
It sounds so peaceful.
Peaceful? Rezu moving things up,
Look
but
at
look
this.
at this from Lumji. 2 from him, switches to his pistol, JT coming in to assist him just before Lumji fell. Both of them very low. They're looking to get this frag onto Hypo. He is surrounded, he has the bomb, Glock in hand and a smoke grenade. Could get a headshot, but no. 7-1 now in favour of Kings, and a Lime Goblin's going to have to eco another one. No, they're going to decide to force this up and happy to take the Galils.
Yep, and guys, big shout out to Pete, Gaz, and Tom, aka Gumpster, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know. All that we've seen today would not have been possible without them. There was the smoke from Shiki going down to the bottom of Banana, which will, of course, stop the T's in their tracks. And in fact, yep, there we go. Was that smoke? No, it was actually a Molotov, I think. I'm not sure. Where did that smoke go? What? Oh, it was actually... I don't know where Shiki's smoke went, but it's not going to matter because he's here and he's ready to rock and roll. He gets one frag. He knows that they're coming in towards him. There's one of them who's on very, very low HP, so he's in a great position to capitalise. The T's have got to get a move on, but they are going to drop the beast from the northeast as the bomb does go down. Rattlesnake now to try and get the retake. Knows that Hippo's hiding behind that wall. This really, really is easier said than done here on the B-bomb site.
Yep, especially when this crossfire is set up so well. Victor gets one, Andrew gets the second, now it's just down to JT. Walking into this site is extremely tricky. Gonna go for the defuse. Gets one frag. It's not enough. Andrew was ready and waiting for him there. So, again, Andrew finishing off the round that the Lime Goblins have win. That's 2 for them on the board now. Really on Inferno, you look to get maybe 6, 7 if you're lucky. And they can, of course, still get that. But they've got a massive mountain to climb in front of them.
Yeah, it's still early days. Really, bar Shiki, financially, it's not looking too healthy for Kings because of how much more expensive the CT side is. So if the Lime Goblins manage to make it 7-3, then we could very well see an eco come out from Kings where they try to save up a bit of money. They've had a lot of success on this B-bomb side. The 2 rounds they've won have been on this B-bomb side. It's not been easy for them, and it doesn't look like it's going to be easy this time round either. Victor nails Shiki in the head. Rezu coming in with the frag. They've got to smoke out CT spawn before they try and plant. Andrew with the AWP frag onto Rattlesnake, and suddenly the Lime Goblins are one man up rather.
As Lumji tries to make his way in here, and it's JT all by himself yet again. This time though, it's a lot easier for him. Just needs to get rid of 9 HP. The time is against him. He's going to smoke out and go straight for this. He's in the smoke. You've got to think he's going to grab this one. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, JT! Wow! Ninja! Yeah, the Lime Goblins, I mean, there was a part of me there which was really, really happy that JT just, pulled off that ninja defuse, but there was another part of me which not just felt sorry for the Lime Goblins, but cringed significantly for them. And we need to see how they're going to pick themselves up from this, because if they'd won that round, like I said, it would have left them in pole position. JT, he defused the bomb, and he's only playing with a 5-7, and that really tells you a lot about Kings' current economical situation, and the economical situation that they would have had they lost that previous round, if it wasn't for the ninja defuse.
Yeah, and we actually saw something out of Kings, which I was going to mention earlier on, and that's that because Lime Goblins have been favouring this B-bomb site so often, I'm surprised Kings haven't rotated a play around and gone a little bit more aggressive. It's exactly what we saw there. Pulse was the man to join Shiki. Oh no, Pulse is on the B site anyway. Shiki was there as well. Pulse did fall, but they were able to get 3 frags from it, so really stopping Lime Goblins and any momentum they may have been building with these consistent bomb plants, with the round wins they've had and the near round wins. Right in their tracks. Shiki now flashing out. That will flash out 2 members of Lime Goblins, and now just going to smoke it and fall back. 30 seconds left now. It's going to be hard for the Goblin to do anything, especially when Lumji is coming round. They line up for him. He gets one, gets two. Kings now are going to be one round away from double figures.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the Lime Goblins. There were so many men down that they focused so much on the B bomb site that Kings, they're so experienced, they knew that, guys, if we push down mid, if we push second mid, if we try and take control of the area behind them, together to make sure they don't frag us off one by one, and if they do, then we're in a great position to get the return frag, then we'll be able to shut them in. And that's exactly what they did on Banana, and it looks like we're going to see a surge of Tech9 Stampede here towards the B-bomb site. Shiki with 3, can't make it 4. Can't help but think that Victor and Andrew are both dead men here.
I'm just going to fall back in towards the smoke. Andrew gets tagged up, but the Tech9s, they're able to get 1 kill. But you really expect Tech9, a Tech9 train in that small confined space that is Banana. You'd really think that they'd do some more damage there, but obviously not. Tonight, Lime Goblins really haven't been utilising them to their fullest. Rattlesnake gets 1, Rattlesnake gets 2, and there it is, 10 rounds now on the board for Kings.
10 to the score, and I believe Lime Goblins, they managed 1 round, didn't they, on cash? So,
yep.
Hey, you know, it's a step in the right direction for them. They've already doubled the amount of rounds on this map, but yeah, they're going to need at least 2 more here on the T side of Inferno to really go into the second half feeling confident with a chance. But there we go, Rattlesnake gets 1, Andrew quickly punishes him for going too aggressive, and now the Lime Goblins with a great chance to capitalise here. Victor has to be careful, he gets 1, but Shiki was hiding behind the car, and I think Pulse might feel a little bit pissed off that his teammate allowed him to die really easily there. Or rather, Pulse might be pissed off at Shiki, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. 2 are the members left. Chronic. At this AK, Shiki is lurking towards CT, hoping that Lime Goblins are going to go for this rotation through CT spawn in the hope that the CT is pushed aggressively through Banana, but that's not the case. They're just going to go straight for this A site, and even so, Kings, they're set up to retake this one. 1 man from the Goblins is in library. That is Andrew with the AWP. He's going to come in the crosshair of Shiki. Shiki able to get that frag. And now the 2v1 is on. Chronic doing his best to make it a one-on-one. Health bars are more or less even. The HE is going to go out. Roll towards Shiki. 11 HP left on Chronic, and it's enough for him with the HE to take down the Beast. They get their 3rd round on the board now. It's slowly but surely making their way there. 10-5 wouldn't be too bad for the Goblin side.
I think that last round, Kings are going to be extremely disappointed with themselves. 2 versus 1. JT pushed out of apps, and Shiki was still too far behind. It seemed like it was a bit of a lack of communication. The timing was incredibly wrong from them, because when you're that player coming out of apps or you're the player coming out of library, you want to make sure that you're both synchronized together. You want to make sure that you both face Chronic together and make sure that that 2 versus 1 does not become 2 1v1 fights or 2 1v1 battles. And Chrome won that battle, and Rezu and Chronic now marching on towards Banana. Little do they know that they've still got Shiki to deal with, but if they can manage to frag him here, Hoss, and they might stand a chance, but they decided, no guys, we're going to rotate to A. But look at this, Kings are pushed all the way down mid, and Andrew is in a great position to potentially flank them, but he's got to get his running shoes on.
AT going aggressive. Chronic is going to spot the body of Lumji. And this was actually a 4v5 round for Kings, I believe, for Lime Goblins, because they had to play a DC at the beginning. They're going to get the bomb down. It's just Shiki left here. The Lime Goblins are going to get their 4th round on the board here, and it looks like Shiki doesn't want to do anything about this. So the clock is going to tick down. And it's going to be 10-4 in favour of Kings still, but even so, Lime Goblins, they have the opportunity to come back into this one now.
So 1 more round to go until the end of the first half. No surprise that Shiki is going to try and save that M4, but financially here, Hoss, obviously it is going to be the last round, so Kings are going to spend every single dime that they have available to them, but you know, Lumji on 3.3k, Rattlesnake and JT on 2k, and Pulse on only 1.9k. So we are going to see a few pistols come out. Lumji just about managing to go for the FAMAS. And the thing is, Hoss, it hasn't been a great half for the Lime Goblins. But if they bring this back to 10-5, then 5 is more than enough to mount a comeback going into the CT side of Inferno. But it's going to be crucial for them to win the pistol. If they don't win the pistol, then I can definitely see Kings capitalising, because they are a team that once they've built up their momentum, then just the same way Virtus Pro turn into Virtus Plow, Kings become dictators. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess a king is more powerful than a dictator, so that didn't really work, did it? No, I don't know. It depends which way you look at it, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on how the state and the political system work, I guess. But we'll save politics to another day as well.
Yeah, please do.
As again, this B aggression coming out from Lime Goblins. They go for the exact same Molotovs, the exact same HE each round. And they never really find anything with it. The one round they had the chance to find something, they were on an eco round. King's playing this B-bomb site really patiently, really passively, and it's been working for them more often than not.
So can the Lime Goblins take us to a third map? It's still early days to make predictions, but definitely looks like they're going to go into the second half feeling comfortable. Look at this Rattlesnake going so aggressive, manages to get one. They're running into Lumji's crosshair. He only fragged one, but it's Pulse from behind, and the Kings just making it look easy. And now it's Shiki versus Victor. It's a 1 versus 1. And the bomb has to be picked up. Victor making a heck of a load of noise here, but Victor will win it. Not quite sure what Shiki was trying to do. I think he gave away far too much information running there. He knew where the bomb was. He could have just held a defensive angle from in front of Library, but maybe that's a sign, Hoss, that even though individually this Kings lineup are very, very good, that they do have, and very, very experienced, of course, they do have that small voice in their head telling them to take risks and go very, very aggressive and try to take gambles. And you've got to pick those times perfectly, because when we saw Rattlesnake push up mid and we saw Pulse push up mid and they got those pistol kills, those were perfect times for him to do it. But when Shiki did it, it wasn't perfect whatsoever. But here we go, the all-important pistol. Goblins really need to win this one.
And it looks like it may not go that way. They lose Chronic. Victor already down to 9 HP. He now gets taken down by the Glock of JT. Bomb will get planted by KiNgZ, so they're going to get some extra cash no matter what the outcome is. But even so, 5 versus 3. You've really got to fancy them to grab this one. They won the pistol round in the first half. JT, in fact, a decoy that he turns away from, still gets the headshot. Once the hypo, Rattlesnake now coming around, finishing off Andrew in a clean sweep to the T side of Kings. 11-5 in favour of them, really looking to make it 13-5 now.
Yep, you'd expect 13-5 with how things currently stand, but as we saw, Lime Goblins unfortunately mess up on cash, where obviously they won the pistol round, then they bought up P90s, not FAMASs, sorry, Galils and AK-47s. Then they lost them and they gave them to their opponents. So it's really important here that Kings keep their distance, they stick together, they make sure they get all those return frags and make sure the CTs can't pick up any of these weapons, because they do have the positional advantage here on Inferno.
Well, so far they've dropped JT early on in this round with the pistols that they have, Hypo, Deagle in hand. They've also pushed down Banana a little bit just to see what they could find. The answer so far is not much. They knew whether the T side were up towards top of mid. Thinking about the top of mid, Andrew gets the frag onto Rattlesnake. Pop flash out from Chronic. He gets around towards the back of the site. 3 Ts are going to approach him. He has a CZ in hand. Pulse will fall. Lungi though is going to get 2 frags, looking for more. 2 versus 3 now. We have a Galil on Andrew. Rezu now going to come round, not able to find the frag on Lungi quick enough. He's going to sit back towards Dark and set up a crossfire alongside Shiki. Lungi, 3 HP. You could tickle him to death right now. Shiki is going to be the man He's going to be the key player here. He's going to go round, gets one, gets two, gets three. In fact, Lumji got in there as well. That was a round you really thought the Lime Goblins could have pulled it back and ecoed Kings. Cheeky holding strong on that B-bomb site.
Yeah, it was incredibly tight there for Kings, and they invested a lot of money into that round and they lost a lot of weapons, but at this point what's important for them is that they keep the money flowing regardless and that they keep the rounds coming in as well. 12-5 is not too shabby for them. In fact, it's brilliant for them at this point. We said how important it was going to be for them to win the pistol round, but still they've got to be careful. Lime Goblins have showed us how clinical they can be with these pistols, but the thing is, on the previous round they had armor. This time round so really, if you fancied Kings in the last round, then you probably won't be able to help but fancy them again for this round. But it's Counter-Strike and anything can happen, and again, if the Lime Goblins get an entry, pick up a weapon, turn that weapon into 1 or 2 frags, then anything's possible.
They're going to force their way up towards mid. They get the frag onto Andrew. Rattlesnake, meanwhile, on the B site, has Pulse with him. They're going to find not the frag onto Rezu just yet. They're going to tag both him and Chronic down very low. Victor catches JT out with his running shoes on. Pulse making his way in here. Is able to find the frag onto Rezu, and now they're going to take the bomb towards A. 2 CTs are sprinting towards that bomb site. It's a case of who can get there first. Hypo falls as Victor returns it onto Shiki. 2 on 2 now. We have guns on both sides. Lumji, though, with only an MP7 in hand. Lime Goblins don't have any armor, and they're smoked away as well right now. It'll be tough for them to really get in here and get this bomb defused.
It is, especially with the firepower that the T's have. And the thing is, the Lime Goblins are running away, but Chronic's picked up an AK-47 and Victor's picked up a Khalil. And granted, the Lime Goblins are going to be able to buy up come the next round. They know they're on the more expensive CT side. They know they don't have armor as well, and it's not really a round that they want to risk. They'd much rather save these weapons come the next round, and you know, you've got to respect that decision, and let's see whether they make it work for them, because at this point they need all the rounds they can get. 8 rounds behind Kings. It's not easy, but they are on a good side host to do it on. So, let's keep the faith, let's keep the faith. But the problem is, if they lose this one, Kings will be on 14, Lime Goblins will probably force buy, and probably lose at that point, leaving Kings on match point. So, let's see what happens.
Let's see, indeed. They have got this AWP on Andrew. He used it pretty effectively on the T side, was key to winning the rounds that they were able to grab. At least the first 3. As Lumji, they're trying to make their way onto this A site through Boiler. There is a smoke from JT going out towards Arch. They're able to pop flash out from Shiki, get the frag on to Rezu. That's a trade 1 for 1. But do the CTs rotate round? Or do they hold this B bomb site? Chronic's thinking about it. No, there hasn't been any more advances towards A, and Chronic's going to play smart. He's going to smoke out B. And wait to see how the rest of this round goes.
So JT dodging Victor's eyesight there. Chronic just hiding behind this corner, and he's in a great position to potentially get a frag if a T happens to come past. But wow, great play from Victor. 2 headshots coming in, but Pulse and Rattlesnake to try and save the day. Chronic will fall to his death. The smoke will go out to block off CT spawn, and with no CTs left here on the B-bomb site, Kings could potentially capitalize, you know, plant the bomb, get in some decent after-plant positions, make it 2 versus 2, and they more than stand a chance.
Off plant positions, they just saw something fly from the back of Oranges there. Hypo, though, still going to check the angles. Rattlesnake is on Banana, does take down Andrew, and he's now in a 1 versus 1 against Victor. Victor doesn't have a kit, but does Rattlesnake know this?
He's taking the gamble.
He's going to keep playing for time here. Here's the defuse go off again. Victor doesn't have time anymore. Needs to find a kit. He's just going to have to run away from this one, and Kings get their 14th round on the board now. And Lime Goblins, they're going to need to force this one up to prevent the match point, and they're going to be in a good situation to do so. Unless, they're going to force it up. I was going to say, unless they play for overtime, but that would be extremely risky.
You know what they say, pros don't fake, and the question is, I'm not even sure if that CT had managed to, defuse the bomb even if he hadn't faked, and years and years of experience coming into great use from Rattlesnake right when it matters most. But here we go, Pulse is going to open things up, nailing Victor in the head. Andrew with just a 5-7, he's up close and personal with Lumji, and of course a 5-7 is always going to win in that kind of scenario here in CSGO. But the Lime Goblins, they probably realise by now that there isn't really much going on at second mid. And the thing is here, Hoss, they focus so much on apps that the T's snuck through Arch and they're going to go to B. Deary me.
Yeah, and they're just going to clean out this B site, starting off with Rezu. Chronic is in the site, 46 HP on him. They need to do this quick before they get caught out from behind. Chronic still refusing to die, finally gets taken down by Pulse. Smokes go towards CT. Rattlesnake will be the man to get the bomb down here. 3 versus 2, you've really got to favour Kings to get this 15th round on the board for them and take this one to series point.
Yeah, you can't help but favour them, like you said, especially now that Pulse has dropped Hypo, who, to be fair, has played pretty damn well for the Lime Goblins. But Andrew's going to fall back. He's going to try and save that AK-47, and, well, balls of steel coming out from Lime Goblins now. Literally no room for error. Kings are going to be on match point. They won the first map, and they're only 1 round away from winning this best of 3 2-0 and securing themselves a spot in the ESL UK Premier League, where of course there'll be £6,000 up for grabs, where the teams will play an online group stage and the winners will obviously qualify to the finals to be hosted at MCM, and I'm looking forward to it personally, but let's focus on the qualifiers for now.
Yeah, we've got a long period of time. In fact, I think it's about 3 and a bit months until MCM, so teams have a lot of practice to get in, or at least those that qualified last week. Alec and Perilous Rage, they've probably been practicing all week, getting their aim on point. Andrew, they're not down and out just yet, the Lime Goblins. 2 quick frags already in this round, leaving Kings wondering, how do they get onto these sites? The bomb has been dropped towards mid. They've kind of fanned themselves out for now, but haven't really found much here. They were smoked off towards B, of course. They lost 2 members towards A. Minute on this clock. They've still got time. They've picked up the bomb, but it's a case of where do they want to try and execute this round?
The bomb is going to make its way back down towards the bottom of a banana, which suggests that they might be looking to execute onto the B-bomb site here. Shiki probably preparing to smoke out CT Spore. No, he's going to smoke out the back of the site. So this boost coming in from Rezu on quad could end up being useless as the Stampede comes in. Victor with 2, looking for 3. The bomb has been dropped and only a Rattlesnake to try and save the day. And unfortunately, couldn't do it, and the Lime Goblins, they've huffed and puffed, and they're going to continue to fight on here, Hoss, but yeah, still a long, long way to go. But at least looking at the bright side, Kings are on an eco, so we might see 15-7. Well, really, we should see 15-7, but never rule out the Tech 9s, or the Rec 9s, rather.
Straight away, Rattlesnake's going to get taken down, 30 HP on him. They're going to go for some thrashing down banana as well. 2 will fall of Kings, but 2 fall from the Lime Goblins as well. So Kings are able to get in this site. They're going to get the bomb down. Now the retake is on. They've found themselves 2 AKs here. Pulse has armor to go with it. It's a case of the Lime Goblins, whether they can retake it, and that nade from Hypo going to help them out immensely. Lumji left now. He's actually hiding at the back of the site. Gets taken down by Rezu.
So the Lime Goblins live to fight another day, and Kings, they're going to be hungry to try and put an end to this. This is the problem, Hoss, that when you're only 1 round away from winning, it can actually play mind games on you. You know you're so close, but you keep losing those rounds and you feel that you're so far away. But here we go. Can Lime Goblins fight on and maybe, leave themselves in with a chance to salvage something from this game? or are they going to crumble like we've seen them do for 15 rounds out of the 23 in which we've seen so far? Let's wait and see. Hypo in the upper apps area. Victor and Chronic, they started off by playing similar to how Get Right and Freiburg play at the top of Banana, but they have fallen back a little bit more passive now after Pulse pushed up Banana. Andrew's going to be playing Arch and Rezu here, just utilising that defensive smoke to keep his eyes on both Boiler Room and mid. Obviously the smoke shielding him from mid as he watches Boiler Room, and he could get 1 or 2 frags here, but no, he is going to be the one to get fragged, and well, that's not what the Lime Goblins needed. A bit too aggressive for my liking there.
As they're now having to retake back towards this A bomb site. They do send some flashes out. JT is halted by the smoke alongside the rest of his team. They're more than happy to let this one dissipate before they make any moves. Hypo and Chronic, this is going to work in their favour. 2 frags for them. Rattlesnake and JT full. Now Shiki as well. Lumji does get 1 on the return. It's him and Pulse as the last 2 standing. Looking for the frag onto Andrew here. It's able to get the headshot in there. Pulse did drop Chronic as well, so it's now all down to Victor. They're going to plant the bomb in the middle of this A site. Victor, M4, 100 HP. Pulse, 78 HP. Lumji, 17 HP. But can Victor get 2 frags and the defuse? That's the question here. Only 1 flashbang to work with. Creeping round A, jumps up, spots the head of Pulse. Doesn't know where Lumji is. Lumji's playing tight, gets the frag onto Pulse. Spots Lumji, now gets the headshot. He doesn't have a kit, he needs to go straight on this. Does he have time? I don't think so.
I think he's just about got it. He does.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just
Okay.
about. It was... God blimey. I mean, I wanted to mention
Years of
how low
experience.
that other Kings player was, and it worked for him, and to no surprise, Kings have been forced back onto an eco here. You know, it's the name of the game, but they are slowly but surely accumulating a little bit more cash as they continue to plant that bomb. So here we go. Looks like the Kings are going to head over to their palace here at Banana, but look how aggressive Lime Goblins have gone here. Andrew all eyes on second mid. Rezu watching T steps, but little do they know that they are all in fact on Banana. They're sort of trapped now. They've got to wait. Rezu's going to push from behind. The defensive smoke prevented the push coming in from Kings. It's too easy for Rezu and Hypo. Lumji last man standing. He's got the Tech 9. We know what he can potentially do with it. He's going to pick up a rifle, but he is bleeding internally. He's on 24 points of health. He's going to try and make a runner. He's gone to quad, and he can actually the bomb here on the A bomb site, and he's going to do that. Lime Goblins, come on. They're going to win the round most likely, but they still let the plant go down. You can't really afford to do that when you consider, you know, KiNgZ's current financial situation. You've got to keep the pressure on him. You've got to do every single little thing you can to try and disadvantage your opponents. But hey ho, even if the Lime Goblins do lose it after this round, at least the score will have ended up being a lot more respectable than that on cash, which of course was 16-1.
But even so, they're not down and out just yet. They've shown they've gained some momentum on the board here. And they have 4 rifles with an AWP to work with. Rezu waiting for JT to jump across to this balcony. He sees the nade come across. That's a very dead chicken and a bleeding Rezu. 48 HP on him. KiNgZ, they're just seeing where they can open up. They find the frag onto JT, in fact. Really nice there from Hypo. He's going to flash towards quad, thinking that KiNgZ had rotated around there. But again, for I don't know how many rounds in a row now, they are up and mad. It's happened quite a few times. Lungi able to get the pick onto Rezu. A little bit careless from him, not checking all of his angles. Molly going across. Rattlesnake drops Victor, and just like that, it's starting to fall apart for the Lime Goblins.
Certainly is. Chronic. Oh, but look at this. Andrew coming from behind with that CZ, just running out of ammo. No scope comes in. 1 down, 2 down. Great play from Andrew. And well, a moment of magic, or maybe a moment to forget, most certainly for the KiNgZ coming out. But can Sam Rattlesnake Gorn save the day for the KiNgZ? If there's anyone who's going to call himself the king of UK Counter-Strike, it's most certainly him. Bags of experience. but he's got to try and do it all alone here, I'm afraid. And Andrew.
He went
4-man. Terrific play, and I'm not sure really if that was great counter-strike from Andrew or whether it was just complete complacency from KiNgZ. But regardless, you've got to give Andrew a pat on the back for sneaking behind them like that.
Yeah, and staying calm in that situation. I mean, if you had 3 Ts just coming at you through Boily with when all you have is an AWP and an out of ammo CS, most of the time people would just stress and be like, what do I do, what do I do? He kept calm, he got the first frag with the CZ, the next 2 were with very, well, quick / no scopes with that AWP, and Lumji now, he's got his cool, calm and collected head on, gets the first frag onto Rezu as KiNgZ make their way round towards Arch. Pulse just throwing things out, but Andrew yet again is going to stop them to some extent. Gets the frag onto Shiki. Pulse now drops Hypo. 2 on 4. This could be the round where Lime Goblins finally fall.
You know, point in trying to save here for Victor or Chronic. We've seen Victor clutch it a few times so far this game, but now he does fortunately have a teammate with him. So let's see whether they can make this work. Defensive smokes and mollies coming out from the terrorists. They're just playing this cool, calm and collected, you know, waiting for the CTs to come towards them. There's one from Chronic. You know, finds himself last man standing. He is going to try and flash them out. He's sort of surrounded. He can't get the frag, and a bit of an anticlimactic ending, you know, Hoss, especially with the magic that Andrew pulled off in Boiler Room. But as much as I hate to say it, the better team won. You know, the KiNgZ were individually and as a unit a much better side than Lime Goblins.